Welcome to Comic Yahoo. Today we're kicking off the very first story of the Fantastic Four, where it all began. It starts with a strange signal in the sky. Four people brought together, each with their own strengths, doubts, and dreams. A scientist, a pilot, a sister, and her younger brother. One decision will change their lives forever. This is Chapter 1, The Fantastic Four. Citizens gaze in awe as the sky fills with smoke spelling out the Fantastic Four, capturing everyone's attention with a dramatic flair. The legendary team is announced with style, leaving the crowd buzzing with excitement and curiosity. As the flare lights up the sky, bewildered officers speculate wildly about its meaning, with one suggesting a possible alien invasion. The crowd grows restless, their imaginations running wild with the sight of the mysterious message. Above the commotion, a shadowy figure with a smoking flare gun stands confidently, revealing himself as the leader of the Fantastic Four. He muses about the necessity of this dramatic signal, hoping it won't be needed again, yet knowing the world might always require their heroics. Meanwhile, in another part of town, Susan Storm is enjoying a tranquil tea with a friend when their conversation is interrupted by ominous words in the sky. Her friend points out the mysterious message, wondering aloud what it could mean. Determined and resolute, Susan knows it's time to fulfill her vow as she considers the gravity of the situation. There's no turning back now as she silently commits to her heroic path. In a blink, Susan vanishes, leaving her friend bewildered and searching for answers. It's time for the world to meet the Invisible Girl as Susan steps into her heroic role. A bustling scene erupts into chaos as Susan's invisibility causes a group of people to stumble, bewildered by the unseen force. One man, convinced he's encountered a ghost, is quickly ignored by Susan as she urgently moves through the crowd, on a mission only she knows. Susan spots an empty cab and, still invisible, makes a dash towards it while the driver laments his uneventful day. Little does he know, his day is about to get a lot more interesting as he prepares to drive off with an unseen passenger. The cab driver, oblivious to his new invisible fare, decides to cruise around in hopes of picking up some business. Meanwhile, Susan sits quietly, plotting her next move as the city whizzes by, unaware of the invisible adventure unfolding within its streets. As the cab driver cruises along, an invisible Susan politely announces her departure, leaving a floating bill behind as her payment. The driver, slightly puzzled, responds with a casual acknowledgement, unaware of the uncanny events unfolding. Suddenly, the driver is startled by the seemingly self-moving money, questioning the mysterious voice that just spoke. His confusion grows as he tries to make sense of the bizarre situation. With a touch of impatience, Susan's voice rings out again, urging the bewildered driver to accept her payment. The driver, still in shock, finds himself in a comedic standoff with the invisible fare, clutching the floating bill. The driver, utterly baffled by the invisible transaction, exclaims that he's hearing and seeing things, or rather, not seeing them. His eyes dart around nervously as he clutches the bill in a daze. Suddenly, panic overtakes him as he shouts for everyone to clear the way, deciding it's time to make a quick exit. His face, a mix of fear and bewilderment, is set on getting out of this ghostly encounter. As the driver speeds away, the invisible woman confidently reflects on her successful invisibility, realizing her powers are as effective as ever. With the car disappearing into the distance, she focuses on her next mission, her invisible form poised for action. Meanwhile, in a men's clothing store, a frustrated shopkeeper informs a towering figure in a trench coat that they have nothing large enough for him. The figure, clearly displeased, looms over the counter as the shopkeeper looks up nervously. The towering man grumbles about living in a world that feels too small for him, just as a startled customer points excitedly out the window. "Look!" Out the window in the sky, the customer exclaims, diverting everyone's attention. The words "The Fantastic Four" echo in the air, leaving the shopkeeper puzzled and curious about their meaning. The towering figure, with a knowing expression, declares, "So." The time has come, as he prepares for what lies ahead. The shopkeeper, bewildered, insists there's nothing in the store that would fit the towering figure, who appears undeterred by the announcement. The shopkeeper is left speechless, his eyes wide as he stammers, overwhelmed by the sheer enormity of the situation. The Thing, relieved to shed his constricting outfit, strides confidently away, leaving the shopkeeper collapsing in shock. As the Thing crashes through the narrow doorway, debris flies everywhere, causing the shopkeeper to exclaim in horror at the sight of the monster. Meanwhile, two startled police officers spot the commotion and decide to approach cautiously, one of them determined not to take any chances with this unexpected situation. The Thing, now facing the officers, is ordered to halt, but with a playful smirk, he challenges them as one officer fires a warning shot. With a hearty laugh, the Thing grabs a manhole cover and hoists it effortlessly, teasing the officers about their shaky aim. It's clear he's having a blast, showing off his strength with a smirk. As he descends into the sewer, the officers are left in awe, exclaiming disbelief at his raw power. The Thing plunges into the darkness below, leaving them speechless. Navigating through the murky tunnels, the Thing realizes he's hit a dead end with no exit in sight. Scratching his rocky head, he mutters about the lack of a manhole, his plan hitting a humorous snag. With a mighty roar, the Thing decides to take matters into his own hands, bursting through the street above like a rocky wrecking ball. Debris flies everywhere as he grumbles about making his own exit, determined to find daylight again. Emerging triumphantly, the Thing finds himself face to face with an astonished driver whose car crumples against him like a tin can. The driver yells in disbelief as the Thing, unscathed, gruffly questions the driver's vision with a touch of humor. As chaos unfolds, onlookers scatter in fear, shouting about a monstrous menace in their midst. The Thing, undeterred, watches them flee, calling them cowards and chuckling at their wild imaginations of Martian invaders. The police riot squad arrives, ready for action, only to find the streets empty and deserted. Confused, they wonder aloud who could have sent the frantic call for help, scratching their heads in bewilderment. One officer tries to piece together the bizarre happenings in Central City, from mysterious sky messages to reports of monstrous figures. His partner, equally puzzled, asks what it all means, seeking some clarity in the chaos. Meanwhile, at a local service station, Johnny checks on a car's engine, pleased with its smooth performance. He gives a thumbs up to the mechanic, enjoying the calm moment amidst the city's strange occurrences. His curiosity piqued, Johnny grins at the mechanic and teases that there's only one thing he likes more than cars, leaving the mechanic intrigued. Just then, the mechanic excitedly points to the sky, where words mysteriously transform into the number 4, capturing Johnny's full attention. Suddenly, Johnny's body ignites in flames, and the mechanic panics at the unexpected heat, but Johnny assures him not to worry. The mechanic is astounded as Johnny transforms into the Human Torch, flames dancing around him as he proudly recalls his passion for adventure over cars. With a fiery flourish, Johnny lifts off into the sky, shouting with excitement, leaving the mechanic in awe beside the scorched car. High above the city, Johnny streaks across the sky like a blazing comet, while onlookers below marvel at the sight, unsure if they're witnessing a meteor or a magnificent man on fire. Back on the ground, the mayor of Central City issues an urgent order, waving his hands dramatically as he commands his aide to alert the governor and the National Guard. The aide, flustered and fumbling, scrambles to comply, echoing the urgency in his hurried response. Meanwhile, Washington springs into action, with orders crackling through radios as jets prepare to scramble. The command is clear: intercept the unknown flaming object that streaks across the sky like a fiery phantom. In the cockpit of a jet, a pilot puzzled by the bizarre command about a flaming object suddenly spots Johnny blazing through the sky. His disbelief turns to surprise as he realizes this is no ordinary wild goose chase, but something truly extraordinary. The pilots, thinking they're on a hot pursuit, speed after Johnny, who is leaving fiery trails in the sky. Johnny, alarmed by their approach, shouts warnings, but his fiery form adds an unusual twist to their usual maneuvers. Despite Johnny's best efforts to keep them at bay, the planes fly too close and catch fire from his blazing form. As the pilots eject and parachute to safety, Johnny laments their stubbornness, knowing he did his best to prevent the mishap. Relieved that the pilots are safe, Johnny's attention shifts to a distant noise, something intriguing catching his eye. With curiosity piqued, the fiery hero prepares to investigate this new development, ready for whatever adventure awaits. Johnny's fiery form is pursued by a relentless hunter missile, drawn to the blaze like a moth to a flame. He shouts in alarm, realizing the missile is locked onto him with deadly precision. As the missile closes in, Johnny's panic rises, knowing it carries a nuclear warhead that spells doom if it detonates. He frantically tries to outpace it, but its speed is overwhelming. Just as hope seems lost, Reed's elastic arms stretch from the city below, snatching the missile from the sky with impeccable timing. Johnny lets out a sigh of relief, grateful for his teammates' quick thinking and incredible reach. With a mighty throw, Reed launches the missile toward the sea, ensuring it explodes far from harm's way. The sky lights up with a harmless burst, leaving the city safe and sound. However, Johnny's flame fizzles out, leaving him plummeting toward the city below. His once fiery flight turns into a freefall, and danger looms large. Reed, ever the quick thinker, extends his arms down to Johnny, urging him to grab hold. With a determined reach, Johnny grasps his brother-in-law's stretchy lifeline, narrowly avoiding disaster. Reed, with a reassuring smile, pulls Johnny to safety through the window, declaring his relief that he's now secure. The dramatic rescue leaves Johnny slightly bewildered but clearly grateful, as Reed's stretching abilities prove their worth yet again. Who are the Fantastic Four? How did they gain their incredible powers, and what twist of fate brought them together? It all began when four seemingly ordinary individuals were mysteriously summoned, drawn by destiny to face a fearful task. This moment marked the beginning of their transformation into the legendary team known as the Fantastic Four. As Reed begins to explain their upcoming task, Ben Grimm voices his skepticism about piloting a spaceship due to cosmic ray dangers, while Sue and Johnny look on with concern. Reed, ever the scientist, assures them there is much to learn and insists on the importance of their mission, igniting a spark of determination in the room. Sue Storm, with a determined glint in her eye, challenges Ben to overcome his fears, implying that they can't let others beat them to the punch. Her words sting, and Ben's pride takes a hit as he contemplates the accusation of cowardice. Fueled by Sue's words, Ben's hand crashes onto the table, declaring that no one calls him a coward and vowing to pilot the ship no matter the risks. The room crackles with newfound energy as the team locks onto their bold mission. With their resolve set, the team speeds towards the spaceport in a car, Reed's leadership blazing the trail. Sue insists on coming along as Reed's fiancée, while Johnny eagerly claims his spot beside his sister, sealing their fate as the Fantastic Four. As the team arrives at the spaceport, they rush past a bewildered guard, defying protocol with Reed's urgency to seize the perfect conditions for launch. With Sue and Johnny swiftly following, they make their way towards the awaiting rocket, ready to embark on their daring mission. Before the guard can react, the enormous rocket bursts into life, lifting off with a thunderous roar, Reed's years of meticulous planning finally taking them to the stars. The ship ascends majestically, leaving the earthbound onlookers in awe of its trailblazing journey. Inside the rocket, the team is strapped in and ready for adventure, with Johnny confidently boasting about the ship's perfect performance. Reed, however, adds a note of caution about the unpredictable cosmic rays awaiting them, hinting at the unknown challenges ahead. And that's the end of Chapter 1. The stage is set, the team is forming, and something big is coming. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Comic Yahoo, where classic comics come to life. See you in the next chapter.